It's just, I actually think it's kind of cool. Just a bunch of raw turnips. You can see here, it looks pretty. I have to take a picture and send it to mom. She gets a kick out of there. And so, there. I can't believe I grew up with a rotary phone, and I'll run my entire business from this thing for the next 2 weeks, from 10,000 miles away. That kind of blows my mind. So I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil on this, just a little bit. I want some olive oil. If I had some sea salt, I'd put a little bit of sea salt down. I always like a little bit of white space on the plate. I don't like to take the thing all the way out. The days of sprinkling paprika and parsley and stuff on rims is over. And so I kind of keep it there. It's just simple. It's going to end up, the coolest thing about this dish is it's going to just end up with 2 items on it, just a turnip and a piece of pork. And then, of course, I'll have this lemon jam. That'll be pretty awesome. And I don't even have to make it into a vinaigrette. I can just spoon it on. So here, don't let the fact that this is rare, because nobody's going to taste it. Don't let the fact that it's rare kind of mess you up here. I just didn't have a lot of cooking. See, I would eat that. I love that. So I'm just going to cut a couple pieces here. A couple pieces here like that, and just stack them in the middle. Stack them in the middle like that. I'm also, as you can tell, I come from like the 16-ounce steak family. Nowadays I'm doing more like the 6-ounce portion. I have, just smaller, less is more produce, less protein on my plates. I have less like meats. I'm doing more at home, the 6-ounce, versus like I was wanting for years. I was like, I'll take a 28-ounce prime rib, eat all the fat, all that stuff, which is, I'm saying that's still pretty good. But now I'm just smaller pieces, more of the produce, more of the natural, local, fresh stuff on the plate, and also knowing that I'm eating a salad ahead of time, maybe a dessert afterwards, stuff like that. So what I'll do from here, here's another little trick that I have, which shouldn't be much of a trick, is save, if you go to Confucius, the Chinese restaurant in Rehoboth, which I think is the best Chinese restaurant like by far in the area, and I hope I'm not hurting anybody's feelings, they have great plastic containers. My whole closet is full. Sometimes I just full of, I should go back and sell them back to Sean, because I get so much Chinese food from him. But I love saving all the plastic containers. I love it because I don't have to go buy more plastic or more glass, which is very kind of environmentally friendly. You'll see everything in my house is done in an old like jelly or peanut butter jar. I save all this stuff for shaking salad dressings, doing everything. I save that, and that kind of like saves you a lot of money, and it stops like a lot of this big production on a lot of the stuff that's going on out there. So spin that up a little bit. But I've got this jam here. I'm going to put a touch of it. I want it in this dressing, so in this thing at the end. Got a little bit of jam there, but instead of like making a big mess, because I hate doing dishes, I'm just going to put a little bit of white wine vinegar in there, a little bit of oil, just a little bit, not a whole bunch. Put the top back on. I don't need to get a fork or another bowl out. And there's my dressing.
How do you make the lemon jam?
Lemon jam, lemon zest. Get one of those microblades. They're awesome. And anytime you have a grapefruit, a lemon, lime, orange, anything at home, take the zest off, put it on a plate, put it in the sun for a day, let it dry up, and you have great citrus dust. Just sprinkle on sprinkling on this is great. I do it with beans, carrots, all kinds of stuff. And let it dry. You can do it in a microwave. You can just put it in a microwave on low for about 5 minutes and it'll dry out also. But it's lemon zest, lemon juice, sugar, or honey, and if you want, depending on the consistency you want, you add like gelatin to it. I don't. I just use sugar. And I'll sometimes put a touch of white vinegar in it. It's already got the lemon juice. I'll do bay leaf and let bay leaf flavor it, but then pull them out. Cinnamon sticks. You can do whatever you want. You can strain, pull stuff out. But it's basically equal parts of fruit and equal parts fruit and sugar. It's about the same parts on that. A little bit of water. Yeah, it's about the same on that. and then you can flavor it any way you want. And then you can thin it out with vinegar, you can thin it out with water. I usually like to go equal parts and then move backwards. or you can move forwards, you know, whatever way you want. I will say when I did this, I meant to squeeze a lemon in this and I completely forgot, because that helps break it down a lot faster. But a little shot of water will do it too. So anyways, now I have this lemon vinaigrette, which is still kind of thick, and I'll just drizzle that on the top there. You see, and then I'd hit it with a little bit of sea salt, and it's going with the olive oil, with that lemon and the sweetness, with the bitterness and the mustardy from the turnips and the turnip greens would be great in that. So that's, like, in my opinion, a great dish right there, and it's very simple, it's very fast. You can do the same thing. That lemon will work with this whole set will work with chicken. It'd be great with rockfish. Lemon jam or lemon vinaigrette on rockfish is phenomenal. Rockfish goes great with greens, especially local. So, you know, rockfish would be great. If you wanted to do this dish with beef, instead of doing the lemon, I would do maybe a tomato jam, tomato vinaigrette with a little bit of horseradish that you dried out. Anytime you get that horseradish from the store, that's in the, whatever it's called. Pour it into like a napkin and twist it, and get all the liquid out of it, because that liquid will mess stuff up. You just want the straight horseradish in there. So I would do horseradish tomato jam, or you can do raisins. I like putting, like, with beef, I like raisins and onions and ginger and garlic and tomato, making a jelly out of that. Jellies aren't just, and that stuff's good for toast too. And then once again, you can make it into vinaigrettes and all kinds of stuff. So what I've got now is my panna cotta, which we talked about, which is about 3/4 of a tablespoon of gelatin, tablespoon of honey, and a cup of milk, and it'll make, you know, two of these 4-ounce containers, and this is how we do it. And then there's lemon zest in there, which is great. And I forgot my scissors, but what we do is we poke a hole in the bottom and then cut the side, which hopefully I can do, and take this out. You see, this was milk, and now it's just panna cotta. You see how it stands up really nice and neat. It's kind of like ice cream, but you can just do it with honey and lemon zest. Once again, you can do it with bay leaf. You can do it with, like, kind of anything you want. And that is so easy. And then you got to let it sit. You got to let it sit. There. You got to let it sit. You know, for a couple hours in the refrigerator. You can let it sit at room temperature, then in the refrigerator. From there, and it's great. You can do it with chocolate milk, you can do it with soy milk, you can do it with all kinds of stuff that is just different. I like doing it with bay leaf. You can do it with rosemary. If you're using herbs, you take, you know, you can use cream. Some people use cream, they use half and half. I like milk or soy milk, it's a little lighter. And you bring soy milk or milk up just to a simmer and chop up a bunch of rosemary or thyme or whatever you want. Just drop it in the milk and let it sit for about a half an hour, and it takes all that flavor. Then strain it, then make your panna cotta. It can be flavored, and then you can put anything on top. At home yesterday, I was playing around, and I just did bananas with honey and almonds, and poured it on top of this, and it was great. So it's anything you want to use, you can use. But today we're doing the berry panzanella. Once again, if you weren't here earlier when I was talking about it, we macerated some blueberries and raspberries just in a little sugar, a little lemon jam or lemon juice for about 20 minutes or a half an hour. Panzanella is an Italian tomato salad with bread, but here we're doing the Delaware version of berries with cookies. So it's kind of the same thing, and we're using Bella's cookies, which, by the way, are phenomenal. And my buddy Mark over there, it's his wife's company. Don't let him fool you. He pretends it's his company. But his wife does all the work. So I'm going to break up. I'm going to take this. I'm going to put in some blueberries. Put in a few blueberries here. Throw in these raspberries, which look great. And you know, whatever berry is in this market will work. You know. But there's only one. But there's only one Bella's cookie here. You got that right. So I'm going to break that up. It's just like croutons in a salad. I'm going to break that up just a little bit right here. Throw that in there. You can throw in some almonds. You can throw in whatever you want. I'm just stirring it around like this.